Good afternoon. Thank you for coming, Mr. Wayne. Now, Bruce Wayne, can I ask what happened to you? You stated in an earlier session that you feel like a bat in a cave, as you have stated. Mr. Wayne, based on some of the information you have provided and some of the concerns you have brought up, though you have begun to talk about something from the past that bothers you, you quickly change the subject or terminate the session. I can sense you are struggling with wanting it to be out of you and yet have a fear of letting it go. The ebb and flow of trauma and living can be very strong at times. I also know how adamantly you were against sharing the trauma with anyone outside of your butler, Alfred, whom you also stated as your closest support, and how he is also your employee, which makes it a complicated relationship for you. The reason I'm bringing up a subject that is so traumatic for you is not in the hopes of upsetting you. It is in my desire to accomplish the underlying goal in which you arrived here for. Do you remember what specific goal that was? Yes, Mr. Wayne. To create and sustain lasting relationships. I recall you being very enthusiastic about the possibility of a label for you and Selina Kyle, and how in just 2 weeks you expressed a desire to no longer see her, and how unmatched you felt you were. I must admit the transition was quite alarming, both in how fast you asked to be with her, and then how fast it all seemed to dissipate. You have not mentioned her since. Yet, when you asked to add me to your social media, although I had to respectfully decline for professional reasons, I noticed that your profile picture was aboard your yacht with many women on your arms. I believe in our sessions, your silence at times has been your nonverbal acquiescence to what we are speaking of. So unless you disagree, I will continue. I do not think it would be a stretch to believe the blocks you create between you and allowing people close to you are your defense mechanisms. And bottom line, fear that having things that matter in your life mean having things that can be taken away from you. This could be the result of victimization lurking in you feeling alone. Now, don't leave, Mr. Wayne. If you were to search yourself, I believe we can agree this is not what you want. But this conversation is a conversation you need to have to start facing the real villain in your life, keeping you from the desired life you really want to have. In all honesty, I'm glad you and I have gained the rapport needed to address this. And your courage to face the villain of trauma is commendable, as less than a third of those suffering from PTSD actually go for the help they need. This makes you a hero. The trauma can be debilitating. Some of the symptoms are mental health issues, physical issues, work and relationship issues. You can feel isolated, have trouble maintaining a job, inability to trust other people, and have difficulty controlling and or expressing your emotions. Now, I can tell by your body language that not only have I caught your attention, but that you agree, as we just spoke about some of the very symptoms I just spoke to you about. I remind you that you are not alone. Many people have gone through the same fire and ended up on the other side, living a life of purpose that they originally planned for and wanted. The reality is, given what you have experienced, being robbed of a lot of your childhood by an unavoidable mugging that ended up in both your parents being killed, is a trauma that can haunt most people. It is also a traumatic experience that does not have to make you a lifetime victim as well. Your inability to walk down dark alleys and the great lengths you go to avoid the specific alley your parents were killed in, paired with your admitted trust issues, impaired memories, and continued relationship issues, suggests the need for greater support. The support groups of those who have experienced the trauma of losing loved ones, as well as the one-on-one support from Dr. Strange, who I referred you to, the psychiatrist, can greatly assist you in some of what you're experiencing, including ways to deal with the stressors when someone triggers you. I also want you to consider ways, like another trial with the EMDR that you attempted with therapist Quinn. I understand you noted it was a bit too intense for you. However, Quinn has expressed that it is perfectly normal to experience such intensity, at first considering it as an exercise built to decrease the intensity you feel over time. You have carried this for some time, and it will take some time to function without it. But only you know how different things can be without it constricting your life, Mr. Wayne. It is normal to want to avoid anything reminding us of traumatic experiences. But the extent to which you are willing to avoid those reminders is affecting your everyday life in such a way that you have expressed at times no longer enjoying your life. Imagine, though it will not be easy, dealing with it means moving beyond these barriers currently blocking you from the life you want. I greatly appreciate your sentiment in wanting me to conduct the therapy you are seeking. I appreciate it. However, at this time, I'm an unlicensed psychology graduate student and a graduate master's level social work student. And since I am unlicensed at this time, I am not in a position to do so, as my competence is dealing with what you are experiencing. It takes someone specifically trained for that type of trauma you are facing. In my capacity, I continue to refer you to persons whom I believe can better assist you, with an oath to do no harm, in their practice for you. I do look forward to continuing to work with you in our current capacity and see the progress of your hard work over the remaining weeks we have left together. You can make a difference, and we can continue to work together. Thank you, Mr. Wayne.